Okay, that's my microphone on. Hopefully it's going to be live. My phone's saying I'm live. I think it's just catching up on the live stream, so be there in just a moment. Right, yeah, I'm getting the live stream coming through now. Brilliant, happy days. Right, we're back for week 5 or part 5 of building Minas Tirith, and a big thank you to Steve's already in, mate. Evening. Good to see you, Steve. Thanks for joining us for another week. What can I say? I've been making some progress. Managed to get the 4 other levels on the structure done. So really happy with that. I'm going to have to take all these pins out, but I'm not going to bore you guys with that tonight. So don't worry. We'll be cracking on with some other bits. I think I might need to glue that in again, try pin that some more, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Right. So what we're going to be working on tonight, I am going to be putting the wall on this bit here later on this week, and then I'll put the wall out here, probably about the same depth maybe as or the same height as this one maybe. So we'll see on that one. So that's one thing I'm going to be working on this week, but tonight I wanted to sort of change focus a little bit and look at some of the buildings, because we're going to need to put the buildings in here and all on these levels. And I just, hopefully it's not going to be too complicated. And as we've got Steve on board tonight, I'm going to steal all his good ideas that I'm sure he'll come out and suggest. And then I need some buildings on the back here and on the top. So there's lots of buildings to do. But I think what I'm going to do is start with the ones on the levels, and I'll probably also maybe make a start on the ones down on this lower section on the sort of ground level as well. So that's the plan. I did have a drink somewhere and I've put it down, so let me just grab that, because it is a warm one today. It's been really, really nice. I've been in the office all day, and it's nice to have got out and had a bit of fresh air and sunshine. So right, drinks there. Brilliant. So what am I going to be using tonight? Well, I've got this big bag here of offcuts of blue foam from some other projects, and I'm hoping very much to make use of those tonight. So let's just grab a few scraps and move this back, and I'm going to start seeing what I can do with any of this, because I'm sure there's stuff. Look at that. There's a triangular piece already, which it's got to be a ramp, hasn't it? That's a ramp. There's no doubt in my mind. I do need to possibly get a sort of level piece for that to kind of go onto, make a bit of a courtyard, or sorry, like a slope. So we'll do a bit of that. But really the idea tonight is just to kind of just be a little bit sort of like creative, I guess, and I mean more so than usual. Just having the freedom just to look at something and go, yep, that would make a great one of whatever that is, and just go for it. So that is what we're going to do, and we are going to waste nothing. So all these little random offcuts like that, I've just cut that off a piece to make the ramp on here, and I'm literally just going off what I'm seeing on this here. So there's a ramp here on this. I mean, technically it's on the first level, somewhere down here, but I kind of think, well, actually it makes sense to have some here. So I think I might just add it there instead. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty basic. That's as basic as it's going to get. It's just not a lot. I've not left a lot of space there, so I don't think it's going to work very well there. So let's put it up there. It can be sort of a centerpiece-ish. Brilliant. We'll glue that down in just a second. Perfect. And I mean, I could put a wall around it. I don't think I'm going to. I don't think it's necessary. I think that's just creating more work for me. So let's get the. Oh, I've not got much water in my my water container thing there. Right. Well, look at this. I mean, what we're in. I don't even know how long we've been going. A couple of minutes, and already I'm gluing stuff down. So clearly, much improvement on some of the previous weeks, last couple of weeks. And I've been recording this week's video as I've gone through the week, and I was very conscious, particularly after the views of last week's video, that it doesn't feel like there's a huge amount of desire for this project. And the reason I say that is the views are pretty low. I mean, they're lower than usual, and I don't know whether that's because I haven't been doing a lot of videos for a while, or what it is. But yeah, just I'm not quite sure what it is. I'm a bit concerned. I've got a lot of work to do to get my viewer numbers back up, but we'll wait and see. We will wait and see. It's not the end of the world anyway. It's not predominantly why I do it, but obviously it is nice to have a successful channel and one that's constantly growing, or at least, you know, often growing. Put a bit of glue there, see if we can get that to lovely. Right, so there's my ramp. Brilliant. Happy days. Yeah, it is a shame, Steve, because certainly, you know, all the videos I've done about my 2 mil stuff before have been really popular, and I just thought this series would be a bit of a winner. And I've sort of debated just going for a sort of almost stopping the series and doing other videos. But the problem with that is I just don't have enough time to do other videos and to build this in the background and make a sort of a big video in the background. So it's a tricky one. I'm not quite sure what the answer is, if I'm honest. Oh, I like that. Oh yeah, look at that. That's quite good. Sorry, I'm just looking at the model and going, oh, that's cool, having a building like up against the wall. So guess what? We're gonna have a building up against the wall. I might actually need to get my tweezers out, because this is getting it quite fiddly quite quickly. Yeah, like that. Just add something. Now, the other thing I've got to think about is I'm going to be putting a bunch of these kind of towers up against the wall, and I will start to do those in a bit. But because of that, it's obviously going to mean I'm going to have to leave space. I need to think about where I'm going to fit those in, but we can do that. That's not a problem. Sorry, what Steve said. So I remember that you were working on rules using strength and honor. How's that go? Yes, yeah. So I was. It was more of a sort of a tweak, or sort of using Mark Backhouse's rules, strength and honor, to basically work for Lord of the Rings sort of fantasy. And to be honest, I think between Mark and I, we've both been really busy, and we just haven't really done anything with it yet. But there was definitely talk about it. You're absolutely right. So to be honest, I haven't really seen Mark in a while, so I really should get back in touch with him and see how he's doing first of all, and then, you know, I definitely, once I've finished this, I will be looking to meet up with him and to hang out, because yeah, he's a good friend of mine. It's just time. It's always time. I'm sure you guys can appreciate that. Right, let's see if this is going to work. So I'm just cutting here, and that was, I've broken that. I'm just cutting a sort of a tower to go on the wall, and I've just pulled that away, so that was a bit silly of me. But we'll see. We'll get this working. Lovely, jubbly. Probably be patient if it happens. These will be a great result. Yeah, no, agreed, and that's it, really, isn't it? You know, if people watch my videos and find them either inspirational or helpful, then you know that that's a win for me. You know, I'll be happy with that. It's just about it's just about helping people, helping myself with the hobby and enjoying it, and just generally, you know, having a bit of a get away from the daily joys of life, which you know, sometimes get on top of us. So yeah, definitely. Right, apologies. I'm just trying to find my tweezers because this is definitely a job for the tweezers. There they are. Brilliant. Wasn't quite as unorganized as I thought it was. Saying that, still a lot of rubbish in here. So, Steve, what are you? Apologies. What are you working on tonight? Are you working on anything, or is it just a chill out night for you? Happy with that. I do appreciate there's a bit of a delay in me saying things and then you guys hearing it on the stream, and then on top of that, if somebody is typing back an answer, it's, you know, there's always time involved in that. So, you know, don't feel rushed. Answer, don't even feel required. Here we go. Building for Dark Elves for a Warhammer Fantasy 8th edition weekend in August, and also some Russian Napoleonic infantry. I take it, Steve, that's all in 28mm. As I think we discussed this last week, and I think you said you were a bit of a 28mm fiend on a few projects. So let's see if we can get this to go on. Look at that. Winner. Yeah, brilliant, nice one, Steve. Hey, full credit to you. I take it I think you mentioned as well the Russian Napoleonics. You were using the Perry's figures for that. They are quite nice. So yeah, I could understand people doing 28mm using the Perry's figures, definitely. Interestingly, I was what was I on? Facebook Marketplace, and somebody was selling one of the starter sets for AWI. No, not AWI. AW American War of American Civil War, ACW. Get my letters the right way round shortly. And it was a brand new box. Hadn't opened it. I think they bought it and decided it wasn't for them, or something had changed anyway. And I very I was very tempted, I think, to pick it up as a bit of a project for the channel. I know Storm of Steel has done the Warlord Napoleonic star sets for Waterloo, and I think they were selling the box for something like 70 quid, which feels to me like probably retail price. But yeah, I in the end I decided not to. And I just think, yeah, it's probably sensible not to. Right, let's see if I can build a bit of so the buildings here are all sorts of different shapes. So, and I just want to do a bit of a peaked roof here. We'll see. We'll see what this looks like. See if it fits what I'm going for. Trick is making it sloped. Yeah, not quite like that, but you know, that works. Okay, fine, happy with that. Oh, I could be a perfectionist, but I think a bit of rough and ready on these will probably be the way to go, because again, with that 2mm, it's just about sort of getting an impression rather than getting it, you know, absolutely accurate. And of course, the scale I don't think is probably accurate. So let's drop that in there. Yeah, I mean, these are like clearly long houses or whatever, so we'll leave them with that. Let's do another couple of sort of sloped roof houses for the wall. Is that the best thing to do with these, or should I just? Maybe. I mean, I love this blue foam. It's just so easy to cut, and it's really nice to work with. So, you know, when I was thinking, how am I going to do these builds, I thought, right, let's just get some offcuts. Again, it's not perfect, but never mind, that'll do. Oh, a big epic ACW game at CrackCon is October, 20-foot table with 8 players. Yeah, wow, that's good going. What scale is that? Is that the epic stuff or? Okay, yeah, that was probably a silly question from my part. Apologies. No, that sounds good though. I quite like the idea of with like Contact Front doing sort of multiple tables that are kind of linked. So you know how you're getting on your game impacts how you know the next table next to you is going and stuff like that. And I just haven't found enough people who play who are interested to try that out. But yeah, maybe one day I should give that a go. Just try and convince some people to come play. Lovely, right? Let's get the bottom there. And where are we going to put this? Where are we going to put this? Let's put it there. Oh, I haven't obviously done the filler, so I've got to make sure that I don't get them too close because that will make it really hard for the filler to go in there. Yeah, that one in there. Brilliant. I'm not quite sure actually how much I'm going to get done tonight, guys, but already the start is quite feeling quite positive about it. So you know we may well make some really good progress tonight. And I think the fact that I'm using blue foam will just highlight the progress quite quickly. So yeah, right. I think I'm also seeing some of these pieces like they're like little buildings on top of like on the walls. So I think I might start sticking some of those on. I think that'd be quite fun. Epic stuff, yeah. The main organizer looking at 16,000 miniatures. Wow. I take it people who are playing it are going to be like contributing to that. That's quite impressive. Yeah, that's going to be epic. That is certainly epic. Definitely rough and ready these buildings, but let's see if I can get this one to stick on the side. That'd be quite impressive if I can. Wouldn't be too difficult. It's just whether it wants to stick or not. But yeah, and I've got to put those towers in. I'm not thinking about that. That was a bit silly. Okay, let's put one of these. Let's pick this one up. I'm just going to pop that down there, I think. Oh, do I go a bit further down? What we got around? Yeah, we can put some pillars either side of that. One there, and I don't know whether I'll get another one in here, but I could drop something down there. Yeah, look at that. Let's see. That's too big, but again, we'll just chop some of this off. Lovely. And just make a sort of rectangular shaped building. Lovely. Not quite, but how could I refuse to start another project? Honestly, it is something. It's a bit of a talent, isn't it, for us wargamers? Like, you know, you have a project on the go, and opportunity arises to start a new one, and you just go, yeah, why not? And yeah, no, I've done that way too many times. I was thinking the other day I need to go back and I need to look at my kind of goals for 2025 in terms of the hobby, because I made a video about it and I wanted to just sort of do, like, I'm now 6 months through the year, like, where am I with these? And yeah, the answer is probably nowhere near completing any of them. But are you a member of the PCP Facebook page? I'm not quite sure which one the PCP one is. I'm on various sort of buy and sell Facebook pages. I'm on multiple wargaming pages. So yeah, possibly. I think will be my answer. I put one there. So do I put that there? Yeah, let's put that there. Or do I put it like that? Put it like that. Stick. Yeah. It's warm in here tonight. Right. Plastic crack pod. No, I haven't. I will have to join that Plastic Crack podcast. Does sound quite fun. Yeah. How well can you guys see this if I get my arm out of the way? Yeah, not particularly well, can you? Right. Let's do a little bit of a view like this, so you can just see how it's starting to look. So I think my plan is maybe a tower up here, or a drop down one here, and then probably another tower here, and one over here. So sort of got 4 towers on there, and then I can always add some of the extra bits in there. Obviously, when I get more on, it'll look better. It will, I promise. Honest. Definitely going to check that out. Plastic Crack podcast, brilliant. I love it. Right, what else am I doing here? Let's cut this one at a bit of an angle, and let's stick that on one of the walls. Somewhere. I mean, it probably is a better idea for me to put the towers in first, but yeah, something like that maybe. Yeah, okay, all right, let's do a bit of marking. It's a YouTube podcast on Monday evening. Martin from Seventh Son, Don from Boots on the Table, and Stu from On Point HQ. Oh, definitely gonna have to check that out now then. Yeah, let's cut that there. So, do any of you or anybody on the who's watching, do you follow Rob? Is it Rob's Hobby Desk, or the Hobby Desk with Rob, or something like that? So he's he's a really nice guy. I've got chatting to him because we're talking about doing this monthly sort of live stream together where we would be sort of chatting about hobby stuff and general sort of like being relatively young dads, I think, and trying to maintain a hobby. So he's worth checking out. He's doing some really nice stuff with what's he doing? He's doing some bolt action stuff. He's doing some Dead Man's Hand, and he's also doing some other little bits and pieces as well. So he's sort of an all-round hobbyist, I guess. If we put that there, what sort of tower are we going to do? We're going to do it that way. Let's do it that way, and let's do, I don't know, some. We'll do a little peak. All right, so let's do that one. Let's do try and do some detail here. Apologies for going a bit silent. Just try not to get it wrong, because that's always a bit disappointing. Yep, lovely. Right, so that's a little bit out of there. Not even sure this is what I want it to look like, which is a bit disappointing. I think I probably should have got a bit of a clear idea what I wanted before I started, but there we go. It's the joys of terrain building. Yeah, that's not really what I wanted. I don't want to come at. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just make it like a. Yeah, could do that. Could just slice this bit off, couldn't I? This is the challenging bit: is how do I slice that without just absolutely ruining it? Bit like that, I guess. Perfect. Let's do that. A little bit there. Cool. Happy with that. It's a bit naff. Doesn't look great. That one's gone a bit deeper. Oh dearie me. Lovely. Right, let's get that off. Cool. Let's see. Did anybody see, and you might not follow, it's on British Forces News. On British Forces News, there was a video about Royal Marine Commandos who have just undertaken a kind of a piece to it's like a reenactment basically of Operation Frankton, which is the Cockleshell Heroes raid, and it was really quite impressive how they've along the Thames. It was just really cool, just really fun video. So it's on YouTube, and basically they used, I think it was HMS. Is it Westminster or Belfast up on the Thames? I forget. But basically, they've used that as their mock German destroyer, and they've canoed up to it, and really, really cool. All right, it's starting to look a little bit more like a tower. Yeah, it'll be better. Let's just cut off a few of these back corners. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. And then maybe some accented piece up the front, like a. I'm just trying to find some offcuts that might work, but just something that sort of sits in the middle up the front. So let's see if I can take this piece here, cut that bit off. And this is literally like scraps. Belfast on Thames haven't been. Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for. Yeah, no. I haven't actually been to the ship in years. Although there was an issue not too long ago with the gangplank collapsing. So I assume that they fixed it since then. But yeah, that was yeah, quite a little interesting story I saw online. So just thought I'd share that. Right, look at that. That's working. Cool. Whew. 'Tis warm. 'Tis warm. And if this is our summer, then well, let's not miss it. I'm actually off camping soon, which will be really nice, especially if the weather is this nice. So yeah, looking forward to that. Camping with the family, first time. Hope little one enjoys it really, because otherwise it might be a bit of a nightmare holiday for us. But we'll see. Hopefully she will enjoy it. We're going with some friends, so lovely. Now, the only problem I've got here is I'm going to have to replicate this sort of tower again. Now it looks like they're fairly, they're not all the same, these towers, so I can just build some towers randomly and just scatter them around. So yeah, rather pleased about that. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, let's go that high. Let's put it there. Lovely. It feels like it's starting to come together, which I'm pleased about. Because sometimes with these things, they just seem to not, they take forever to really come together, and then it always. I found with every project I've done, it just gets to a point, and it's like somebody flicks a switch, and it's there. It starts to really come together. So yeah, we're looking forward to that moment. Little bit down there. Yeah, that'll do. That will call that good. We'll call that. Right. Where am I? Ah, now. Lovely. It is absolutely fine by tonight. I mean, we're 35 minutes in, which is a little bit of a surprise. I thought we were probably only about 20 minutes in. But no, absolutely enjoying it once again. I have to say, last weekend I did, last week, I should say, walked away and just, felt really positive about the whole project. It was really nice to have such really good interactions with obviously Steve, and Rob was on as well. And it just really felt nice to sort of be involved in a community that was caring about what I was doing. been having a go at making some 2mm stuff with a laser cutter I have access to. Just decide what to do with them. Brilliant. I have to say, I think I'd be tempted with Napoleonics in 2mm. I really do think I would enjoy doing that. But yeah, I'm still on the fence about Napoleonics. Like, I'd like to do it. I really, really would like to do it, but I'm just not sure I'm going to bring myself to do it. So we'll see. We will see. Yeah, let's go this way. Lovely. Right. Oh, I know what I was thinking. I was going to ask you tonight, Steve. What's the film I'm thinking? Greyhound. Have you seen Greyhound yet? What's it on? Apple TV, I think. I thought it was a mini series at first time I heard about it, and then oh no, right. So Tom Hanks has done this film, and it's about a is it this? It's either a frigate. I think it's a frigate, or anyway. So it's about an American escort ship, and about escorting merchant ships across the Atlantic, and it's about one particular historical convoy that the actual ship Greyhound did, and really, really good story. It's been done brilliantly, as you'd sort of expect from Tom Hanks, and it is really, really good. It's sort of, I don't know, for me, you watch it and you go, it's nice to see a really good naval film, a modern naval film, because obviously there's classics out there, such as Battle on the River Plate, and trying to think of some other Midway, Battle Midway, sort of a naval one. Obviously Das Boot, which is really, really good, but long. But no, Greyhound is really good. If you have Apple TV, I would highly recommend watching it, because it is a really, really good film. And I am a bit of a fan of Tom Hanks. I have to admit, he's really good. So yeah, definitely I like his work. Right, so I moved on to the lower level now. So I think I'm going to try to build this up a little bit. Almost sort of got to the. I think with this level here that I started, if I can, what am I thinking? If I can do the towers, that'll almost finish that section off. A great uncle of mine was in the Merchant Navy, but that's what oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, from the film, you really get the idea that it was quite a perilous task, and it was a bit of luck, really. If you were targeted, if you got hit, and of course as well, some of the ships got hit, and although then they tried to get there for survivors to pick them up, the priority was actually getting the U-boat so that the rest of the convoy didn't get sunk. So there's definitely an element of what's best for the greater good versus the sort of individuals. So yeah, really, really interesting film. Highly recommend it. Yeah, right. Are we going to get a tower out of that? I think we could. I think we could definitely get a tower out of that. Right, let's just flatten off this bottom edge. Just waiting for somebody either in the comments after this has been filmed, but just somebody to say, where'd you get your blue foam from? The answer is the tip. I was at the rubbish dump, or the tip as we call it, and yeah, I saw in one of the rubbish bins a big sort of pile of blue foam, and I literally said to the guy, "Can I have that, please?" And he went, "Yeah, sure." And so pulled that out. So it was quite a win. Yeah, it's actually looking like I want it to. Not sure. Yeah, it's not quite as good as I was hoping, but yeah, it's getting there. Yeah. Let's just cut out a big section in the middle. Lovely. See if I can get this out without absolutely destroying it. That'd be really beneficial. So I'm just cutting out a little kind of channel to sort of make it look like the walls, or there's pillars either side. So we'll see how well we do here. And most of the work that's going to make this not easy to get the blue foam these days. Yeah, and I've heard it's really expensive as well if you do get it, or maybe it's the pink stuff that's expensive. But yeah, whereas in America they order it by the sheet, and yeah, they're definitely on a foam building scale. I think they're probably doing a bit better than us. Because you can go to like the hardware store, our equivalent of like B&Q, and you just buy it as a sheets of insulation. Whereas we get the really bobbly stuff, which obviously is what I made the structure out of, but it's just not that great for model building. Right, I think getting there on the texturing bit here. Obviously, it's probably going to be probably another week before I get all the details done, but I think making a good start today is key. Hopefully those who are watching, a little bit something new, something different, something a little bit more interesting than building the walls. I'm almost indenting the foam rather than cutting the channel out, but that's all right. I mean, that pink is very hard, good for milling and turning in. Yes, very expensive. Grey is quite good. I've not come across grey foam. Sorry, Steve. I was thinking back to your tip last week about sort of engraving it almost with the pencil, and I'm just thinking I might try that again, but not to bend it, just to give it a bit of texture and a bit of. Oh, that has worked to just pull it out with the knife. Lovely. It's actually quite, yeah, I think I've done all right there. Some people might be looking at it, watching these videos and going, why have you not just used a 3D printer? And to be fair, it's a fair question, but I don't have one. So that's the answer. What I will say is there's something fun about this. And when I look at it at the end and I go, I made that. Yeah, you can't really, I mean, I suppose you can do that on a 3D printing. You can say, yeah, I made that. But yeah, there's just something fun about this, I have to say. Right, sorry, Steve, I'm not ignoring your question. Just trying to do too many things as always. Not question. The pencil and the foil method works well with bigger scales. Pencil should work. But yeah, agreed. Although I was thinking more of like making the indents using the pencil as a way of indenting it. And I have decided, and some people again might be asking, why aren't you doing bricks and stuff? I just think for the scale, there's no point. So what I'm, with the wall, once I've sealed it with watered down PVA and then sprayed it with a grey and then dry brushed it, that will give it all the texture I need, really. So yeah, it should work quite well. Now I have to say, getting the second tower on there, this little section here is really starting to look the part. Obviously you can't see it, so let me change that. I think we're getting there. I'll just move that over here. And I don't think I need to go crazy on the buildings. I just need enough in there to give the impression of some structures in there. That's not moving. That's good. So I think that's coming along. Obviously, Steve, you're doing well in the chat. Any thoughts on this? Do we think it's heading in the right direction? Oh, while you were thinking about that, typing, I shall have a quick drink. Oh, we do need to do some buildings up here, some on the rock work up here as well. So plenty more to do. Obviously, getting these ones down here will be important. I think the tricky bit is because I've not left a lot of space on this first level. It's going to be getting buildings in there. Oh, thanks, Steve. Appreciate the feedback. But yeah, getting them in here, not just next to each other, is going to be challenging. Sort of making it look like there's sort of streets and stuff. So that's going to be challenging. I think I'm going to do some sort of half tower on here, and then a full tower here and over here. So whether that gives me a little bit more space to play around with. I mean, the blocks that I'm making are not particularly big, but they just fill the space up very quickly. And then I think I've got a lot more space down here, so I can actually do a lot more detail down here. And then obviously I'm going to have some towers on the external wall as well. But I think, yeah, just looking at this model, it's just going to be really important to get lots of towers, lots of bits on the wall, as well as the buildings inside. And that's going to make it feel more like sort of what I'm looking for. And I think looking at this scale model, there's a lot on the wall, a lot more than just one or two. So I think I'm going to go a little bit more on here. And then, yeah, more of these towers, because there's definitely plenty of towers on the walls. So do quite a few down here, quite a few in here. And then obviously when I get up to this level here, this will be the last level that I do any towers and stuff on the walls. This I'm going to leave plain, and this bit I'll leave plain up here. And then well, there might be a building that comes up here, so I might see about doing something here. Then there's a tower and a big building up here as well, so there's plenty of detail to go on it. Yeah, just very warm tonight, so probably won't go on really past the hour, but hopefully this has given you an idea of where the project's going, and certainly once I get those on, once I get all this on and I seal it, and I get this top wall as well, which I'll do probably tomorrow night, maybe, depending on what I'm up to, or maybe Friday I can get it. Although I've got to get this, I got to get the recording finished and edited on Friday, because I'm not around this weekend, and obviously the videos come out Sunday, so lots to get done before Friday. Hopefully some more progress tomorrow night, and yeah, we'll just have to go from there. It might be a low amount of progress this week, but I'm back on Monday, so yeah, that'll just impact next Monday, or next week, in terms of how much progress. But I mean, coming up here and chopping up a few of these in for half an hour, I can actually get quite a lot done, so I may well be able to get some extra bits done, which would be nice. Right, let's get a few more done, because I want to try to I want to try and see what I can do on this. So let's a bit of a tear there at the end, but right, let's thin this out. I think one of the other challenges about doing YouTube, we were talking about the views earlier. The other one is, when you ask for, like, what do people want to see, what sort of project, you don't get a lot of feedback, and that's always quite challenging as well, because it's, without those suggestions, it does make it quite a challenge to know what people want to see. Yeah, always a tricky one, but I guess that's showbiz, as they say. So, Steve, I've just seen your comment. What have we got? Looking in my copy of Atlas of Tolkien's Middle Earth, based on the books, it shows the location of the towers on the walls and the hallows at the back. Oh, interesting. Oh, that is. If you are on, just trying to think. I've got a Facebook page for the YouTube channel. I don't know whether that allows you to post on there, but obviously, if you want to post on there, no, please do. Be much appreciated, and cool to see any pictures, reference pictures you might have. Sounds quite cool. Right, it's going to go up here. That looks quite nice like that. That just fills up that gap, so let's do that. Oh, super. No, that's great, Steve. I really appreciate it. And all the engagement, obviously, tonight. You've been solo effort on the chat. I haven't actually seen how many people have been. There's 4 people watching at the moment. I don't know how many have been on the rest of the time, but it's great to have you all joining in and chatting and all sorts. So yeah, I am liking this. I'm definitely growing on me. Right, let's cut this bit here. Let's do another. Sloped, don't we? Sloped. a little bit of damage on that property, never mind. Sloped. Let's think where this could go. Down here, maybe? Another one up there, yeah, let's do that, let's do that. Why not? I'm honestly having quite good fun with this. And so going back to what I was saying about priming it and weathering it and all that, that's all well and good. But what I'll also do, once it's all grey and painted the colour I want, I will go over it with a black biro. And I'll draw on windows and archways and doorways and all that. What I found is the black biro gives you a bit of depth. So it looks like the doorways, the windows and all that are there without actually having to put all that effort in to do it. So really neat little trick Mark taught me. And it just, it does add a lot without too much effort. Right, let's make that like that. No, dropped it. What do we reckon? Do we reckon there? Do we reckon there? I reckon something like that might work. Yeah, let's do that. Again, not 100% sure, but we'll go for it. We'll just try not to overthink it. That's what I try to do, but of course, it's easier said than done. Cool. Oh, was I going to do? Yeah, I think I was. So I'm going to move that over here. And then I'm going to put the tower in there. Because I forgot I was going to put a tower there. That sits there. That works. Tower here. Small little box thing there. Little building. I've got any scraps. Oh yeah, look at that one. Look at that one. That's a winner. Let's cut that square off there. Lovely. In fact, this one's got a little bit sticking up, which almost looks like a chimney. So kind of winning on that one as well. There a little bit. Have I got any longer pieces? Probably in my bag. Just something that's going to work for a tower. Yeah, that could work. About the right thing. So I just need to clean it up a little bit. That's the only problem, but we can do that. It's not a problem. In fact, actually, I'm almost tempted to put the flat side against the wall and use the sort of texture that we've got. That's quite good, though. Right, let's start chopping off some. How am I going to do this? Yeah, that'll do. It sort of looks like a tower. It probably doesn't look anything like a tower, but yeah. And then I don't know what we're going to do with this roughed up bit. I don't know. Let's just. Yeah, we'll do a little bit of carving here and there. We'll pretend like it's meant to be Yeah, let's cut a bit off the bottom. Looks a little bit high. Oh, look, another building. Perfect. Oh, just knock that one on the wall. Yeah, I think that's going to work there. And how flat that actually is. Lovely. Right, let's do that. We're getting there. We are getting there. So just while I'm sticking this on, and we've hit the 9 o'clock. I'm not gonna keep going much more. All I really guess I need to say is a huge thank you to you, Steve. Thank you for joining in the chat, getting involved. It's just been once again another great live stream. So really appreciate that. For those who are watching who haven't joined in, no worries. No pressure to join in. It's really what you want to do. If you enjoyed just watching me build, fantastic. Glad you're getting something out of it. The next thing on the channel, next bit of content will be Sunday's video. So do check that out, where I'll be talking about, it'll be a review of the progress this week, and what I've been working on. I don't want that else. Oh, hang on. Why is that moving? Okay. Might need to go back and restick some of these because they're not brilliant. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, so it'll be a review of what I've been working on this week and the progress. You'll see basically from the end of last week's video right up until obviously it covers up to the live stream, and then a little bit after that for the rest of the week. So obviously there will be more progress than what we've done tonight, but this is a big chunk of this week's work. So yeah, definitely head over to the channel on Sunday. It's out at 6 p.m. UK time. And then I'll be back next Wednesday with another live stream. I suspect I'll probably still have plenty of buildings to work on, but if I can get some done on Monday, try to maybe get this side finished. If I don't get that finished this week, I want to try and get this wall in as well this week. So there's a few bits I want to try and get done, but I do think it's starting to come on. It's starting to look like Minas Tirith. I think if people saw this, certainly once it's painted and all that and sculpted, textured, I think people will be saying, "Oh, that's Minas Tirith." So I think we're heading in the right direction. So following that, yeah, we'll be on the live stream next week. Hopefully not doing buildings again. Hopefully we'll move on and do something else, maybe texturing this wall, for example. But anyway, that's it for this week. Thanks ever so much again. Steve, you have a great week. Everybody else have a great week. And I'll catch you next Wednesday in the live stream. So until then, take care. We'll see you later.